Hi here, Thins here. I'm back for another video, and it's all change in the semi-finals at Eurovision. Yes, the news is out. Yes, we had some news on Tuesday that in the world of Eurovision, of course, that it's all changed with the voting. Yes. Well, the news is out that in the semi-finals, jury votes are no more. Yes, the EU has announced that in the semi-finals, it will be 100% televoting. That means they have scrapped the jury votes in the semi-finals. Only televoting will be solely down to who qualifies to the final. But of course, in the grand final, it will be back to a 50-50 jury and televote split as it usually is. And also new in 2023, of course, is that there is going to be an online global vote that if your country doesn't compete at Eurovision, you can still be eligible to vote online. But you'll still have to pay a credit card, so it's not free, sadly. Um, but yes, big changes, big news, no one saw coming. So, why has this happened? As the EBU announced this new change to the semi-finals? Well, there could be some, they haven't especially said what the specific reason is, but there are been some theories surrounding it. One is, of course, last year, last year, technically this year, but in Eurovision World last year, in 2022, in the second semi-final, of course, we had those 6-country juries who cheated and got bought votes from other votes like Poland. Can you give Montenegro some votes? Or it was like Montenegro, Poland, Romania, Georgia, San Marino, and Azerbaijan all specifically exchange high points to each other and then drag down the big contenders, Sweden and Australia, down deliberately to the bottom of their leaderboards, so they would hope they had a less chance of qualifying and a more chance for those 6 countries to qualify to the final. But obviously, that all happened and the EBU found out and they were not impressed that this rule break happened. So that is one of the theories why, because of the cheating scandal that happened with the juries last year in the second semi-final. There's also other theories surrounding that, the juries over the years haven't really voted through, what the public wants. Like they have dragged down most of the fun entries. I remember last year in 2022, and I know a lot of people weren't happy with that. So there is a lot of theories surrounding why this rule change has happened. So what do I think about this rule change? I've got mixed feelings about this. Power to the people can be a good thing, but it could also be a bad thing. I think if we go back to why the juries were first introduced or were brought back in 2009, is because of block voting, the EU was worried we were going to go to Eastern Europe every year, like Russia was going to win every year. So they brought the juries in to balance things out, so to stop diaspora voting constantly or block voting constantly, giving Western Central European countries a chance, because back then in the noughties, especially in the semi-finals, we were getting a lot of Western and Central European countries not qualifying to the final, like Netherlands, Belgium, Switzerland. Those kind of countries were struggling to qualify, and smaller countries like Andorra and San Marino at the time were struggling to qualify. So that's why they brought the juries in to give an even playing field, let the quality get through and see what goes through. Over the years, the juries can agree with the televoting. We've seen obviously Alexandra Rybak, the jury and the televote put that first. Loreen was first in both sides. Conchita Wurst was both first in both sides. Salvador Savar was first in both sides. So they can agree. Sometimes, we've had different jury winners, different televote years. So it can be all different from both sides. Obviously, the juries don't always get it right. There have been many occasions where people have been shocked by how the juries have dragged down a specifically song. Stella Mwangi, 2011. The televoters put it ninth out of 19 in that semi-final. The juries put it 17th to 19th, third to bottom. Hubba hubba buncha kaka. There's been occasions of Norma John, Blackbird. The televoters would have put it through. The juries dragged it down. Coit and Laura, Estonia 2017. It was quite a controversy because it came sixth in the televote, became second to last with the jury vote, so it didn't qualify. So there have been, many occasions where the juries have been quite questionable where they've ranked some songs compared to what the public has ranked them. So, I mean, it has been, there have been some controversies. That being said, televoters don't always get it right. Taboo came last in the televote in their semi-final for Malta in 2018, which didn't deserve that. Estepini was dragged down by the public than the jury. So, you know, Greta Salome, people didn't see that not qualifying. It didn't qualify with either side. So, you can blame each side. I mean, yeah, there's a case to prove to boy. But what do I think about this new rule change? I'm not so sure about it. I think the juries are important. I have to admit, they don't always get it right, as I've proven. Um, but I don't know. I think it is going to struggle with smaller countries getting through, like Malta, who regularly struggle getting televote points because they don't have a big diaspora. It's going to really hurt like small countries. Like they really need to send a quality entry, and I think for countries that have big diasporas, it's going to help them not having a jury in their semi-final to get through. Lithuania being one of them, I think they really need a bad song like Fiala or Fuse Mock not to get points from the televote. Because even if they send a borderline song, their diaspora vote, regardless whoever's in their semi-final, will get them through. I mean, you could say the same. But then again, Romania, they have had years in the televote where they've been dragged down by the televote and their Romanian diaspora hasn't worked out. Same with Poland, sometimes their diaspora doesn't always get behind them. I see Raphael's the ride. So, yeah, sometimes diaspora voting, sometimes in the televote it doesn't pull through for countries. But, it really needs to be a bad song for the diaspora not to get behind them. It's a controversial system. I think, power to the people can be very dangerous. I think juries are important. I think they are there to vote for quality entries that maybe the public won't get behind sometimes, like maybe a song is quality but has to perform really early, so the juries are there to save it. So it is going to be an interesting development for the results. Personally, I like a split result of 50-50. I think juries are very important, but I do agree we need more than 5 people on a jury. I think 5 people are too little. And I think, giving a reason, got a pen here, giving a reason of why you've ranked this song. If you put Montenegro first, give me a reason why you put Montenegro first. Then just deliberately getting this country to the final and dragging down other quality entries that don't deserve that. Give us a reason why. I think that was the solution. I think abolishing the juries in the semi-finals is not a clever idea. What I would have done is reworked how the jury system works in the future. And yeah, we're going back to 2009. Was a strong year, but you also had that jury vote where you had the top 9 countries in the televote get through, but the 10th qualifier was the one between 10th to 18th or 19th in the semi-final. The jury could pick out one song, which is a whole controversy in itself because Charlotte Puerli kicked out Tamara Tedesco in 2008, and 2009 Croatia got through over Serbia, which had half the points Serbia had in the televote. So that's a controversial system. I hope we don't go back to that. That being said, though, I just think juries are important. I know we've had some years where they like Triana Park only getting 1 point in the juries. What's that all about? So sometimes it can be a bit, are they doing the right thing? But yeah, I just don't know. I think juries are important. They are important, but they just need to refresh the jury system. Refresh, I'm just worried block voting and Eastern European countries. I think the good thing, at least going forward is that at least we only have 37 countries next year. So we're going to have a semi-final of 15. So we're only going to lose 5 countries. Finish higher than 5 countries in your semi-final, and you're through to the final. We're done. So, so yes, and obviously the new rule as well is that we're going to have a global vote online, which is going to be actually quite interesting. It's like a 38th country voting, so I don't mind that as an additional vote. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't, and we get rid of it the following year. So it's I don't think it's going to be a massive change, but it's a nice change at least. Um, Compared to having no juries in the semis. So yes, mixed feelings for that. Personally, I'm gonna miss the juries in the semi-finals because I think they are important to have. And this debate, like, oh, we're gonna have more joke entries. I think the good thing though, not having juries in the semi-finals is that countries won't be too worried to say like, you do wonder, will we see a lot of balance next year? Compared to like in 2022, like will we have like a song like Switzerland or Azerbaijan in 2022 qualify? Because obviously the Deer didn't even get a single point in the televote and still made the final. Same as Switzerland, hardly getting any points in the televote, but still getting through because of the juries. Will we have like similar situations like that? Who knows how countries change? I mean, we're not going back to like Dustin the Turkey or like the Estonia 2008 with the onions and the cakes and the naked women on stage. We're not going back to those eras. I think we've moved past 2008. We're in the 2020s. Eurovision has changed so lot in the last couple of decades, really. We're not hopefully going back all madhouse, wacky cracky the joke entries. Quality will still hopefully go through. The public aren't stupid to put through, but I still worry. Juries are there important. I mean, it'd be also interesting how countries are going to stage songs because in the past, juries have been dragging down songs that have been like too much, like Kelly Loro, Ranella got knocked out with the juries that would have got through with the televotes. Leslie Roy was like criticised for having too much on stage. So it'd be interesting to see how countries take forward with that. Will a stage show with too much going on get through that a jury would drag down usually? Who knows? There's lots of things to digest on this. There really is. So if you got anything to talk about this new Eurovision change, comment down below in the comments section, like and subscribe to this video. And yes, I am quite surprised that this has happened. I just hope something, good comes out of this. I feel. I just honestly, I just hope that quality songs will still proceed to the final, and if a country has got a diaspora voting in their semi-final, then hopefully their song is still enough quality to go through, if you know what I mean. So who knows? Who knows what this new rule change is? Will we have a bit more fun in the final this year? Because that it suggests also, we lost a lot of fun in the semis last year. Like Ranella didn't make it, Brooke didn't make it, City Zenny didn't make it, Lumex and Pia Maria didn't make it. That was a really fun entry. So will we see more fun entries go through? That more ballads going through? Now we've got only televote system. Who knows? I just hope we don't have really bad songs going through. But in any case, comment down below and like and subscribe, and I'm back with more content very soon. Goodbye, people. Goodbye.